last summer, a few friends of mine were playing football at a nearby park where we stay. I was 10, and my two other friends were 11 and 9. We became extremely thirsty from the game that we played, and the park water fountain wasn't doing us any favors. Luckily, that's when an ice cream van came from around the corner. Or so we thought. There was something different about this ice cream van. He didn't have that traditional ice cream song playing from the speakers. He just had a really loud kids beat that he was playing from the speakers. Also, he didn't have that much ice cream pictures on his van. It was more like 3 low-quality, poorly pictures taped on. The rest of the van was just a faded white color. I know, I didn't see the red flags at the time. I was just a kid and didn't know much then. Anyways, we all walk up and both of my friends order a Pepsi while I order a Sierra Mist. He then says, "Okay, give me 1 second," after looking around seeing if more people were coming. Mind that I tell you that the park was kinda empty at the time of that day. It was 6 p.m. and the skies were slowly getting dark. He then looks at my friend Josh, who was the youngest one, and says, "I have an ice cold Pepsi right here, but it's stuck under the seat. If you can help me pull it out, you can have it for free." I start to get confused while Josh gets excited and tries to open the door. That's when the ice cream man tries to pull Josh in the van from his shirt collar. Josh then begins to cry and kick while me and my other friend David are trying to pull Josh out. The man's hold was so tight and strong we almost lost our grip. Then we heard footsteps and adult voices approaching, yelling, "What's going on?" As we heard that, the man quickly let go of Josh and hit the gas so fast that his tires made a screeching sound as he pulled out. Several adults tried running after him but gave up since he drove out so fast. About 4 adults surrounded us and asked if we were okay. Apparently, they were watering their grass from across the street where they live, and they saw everything. I felt so bad for Josh because who knows the dangers of what that man had waiting for him. And who knows what that man would have done to him if he actually pulled him in. I remember this story like it was yesterday. I had a summer job as ice cream man, working in the morning till around 7 p.m. It was already my 3rd week in, and honestly, I liked it. The job was easy, and I began seeing familiar faces every day, and they were always happy to see me. My lunch break was usually around 12, and at times I would just take a nap in the large back space of the van. One day, I went to a shady spot near a park and turned the van off and began to rest. Big mistake. About 10 minutes in my nap, I began hearing the handle of the door being messed with, and then a loud thud. Suddenly, I see a man who looked like a drug addict take a seat in the van and begin messing with the ignition. He was such in a hurry, and you could tell he was so nervous. I don't know how, but he got the van to start, and he drove very fast away with me still in the van. I don't think he noticed me in there at all because he never looked back once, and he also began talking to himself. I didn't know where he was going, and so many thoughts began rushing to my head. I was only 20 years old, and I had a child on the way with my pregnant girlfriend. I wanted to just be home with them that day. We were in the middle of a busy traffic area at a red light when I just cried and yelled out, "Please don't hurt me." I see red eyes through the rearview mirror look back at me, and I sort of surprised him. He then took his rusty flathead that he must have used to start the van and pointed it towards me. He said, "Stay back or I'll stab you." He then looked around, slammed his head on the steering wheel, and opened the door and took off running mid-traffic. A lot of nearby drivers stopped their car looking at the situation very confused. I was so relieved I quickly jumped in the driver's seat and drove to the police station. I then filed a police report and quit my job the same day. I told my pregnant girlfriend about it, and she was in complete shock. What scares me the most is how quick and fast it happened. 1 minute I was falling asleep on my break, the next minute I'm being kidnapped by a man who carjacked an ice cream van. I'm glad I made it out okay, because that is one situation that I'm never going to forget. When I was 8, my parents made me go to summer school. Sure, I would get to leave school early every day, but it was still upsetting that I would wake up and have to go to school. Anyways, I lived in some ghetto apartments at that time, and I would walk home from school every day. I lived about 12 minutes walking distance from school, so getting home was no problem. I remember I would always see an ice cream van parked in one of the apartment spaces we lived at. It looked to be abandoned though. It was really dirty and looked like it hadn't been turned on in months. Like I said, it was there for weeks, so I didn't know whose it was. I honestly didn't think anything of it though. I remember it was raining one day and I walked home from school with my heavy jacket. I remember passing by the ice cream van like usual, but this time was different. After getting ready to pass it, I heard a chilling voice saying, "Little boy, come here." I was scared and I couldn't believe it. The voice sounded like they were making that frightening tone on purpose. They said it again. "Little boy, come here. I have something to show you." Then a hand popped up on the foggy window. I immediately ran upstairs and told my mom. She came out running, and before we both knew it, the van was gone. I honestly to this day have no explanation for what happened. The van was parked like that for months, that one random day it just decides to leave the scene completely. The scariest thing is, it decided to leave after my frightening encounter.